Hey, hey, what do you say? Reality TV to row. Today this reading's on Jim Bob, Jim Bob Duggar. And the interesting I'm finding out is I pulled the Emperor card out because that's what he reminds me of. The ultimate authority. Even if when his kids are married, they need to be under his umbrella and listen to his decisions and what he decides. I think that was the big conflict with Jill and Derek. They were going to make their own little path and make their own household decisions. And Jim Bob just reminds me when like in Rome, he was the Caesar and you just had to obey him. Or, he was King Henry the Seventh or something. Some kind of position that he feels like even if my grown children get married, I am still the emperor of this kingdom. So let's do a little reading into some of the shadow energy, not the person, his energy. His energy, let's see what his energy can tell us about Jimbob. Why do you think you are like Caesar in Rome or a king in the Middle Ages that no matter what, you are the ultimate authority to even grown children? Okay, let's set our intentions. Let's see what the cards are going to say about Jim Bob. And the thing is, I get this feeling that when you look at him, he looks like a nice guy. Yet there's this iron will him. So interesting. What energy is in Jim Bob that you can tell us, cards, why he thinks he's the emperor, like a Caesar emperor, like a king in his kingdom? Page of Swords. Page comes with a message. The swords are your conscious thoughts. Page of Swords. I've come with the message that I have the divine right. In his energy. Ooh, the Tower. It all comes crumbling down, which looks like it's happening now. Although Kendra has decided to stay with her husband's side of the family, and she's kind of going against her parents. It's like, Kendra, you drank the Kool-Aid. But Jim Bob's like, his energies underneath is he sees it falling down. We'll get some more information on that. And a King of Swords, another king, kingdom, his kingdom of the swords. He looks like a nice guy, but if he needs to, he's going to rule by the sword. He'll look directly at you and tell you, I'm going to rule by the sword. From even reading Jill Diller's book, she was saying how Jim Bob ruled by controlling the money. He really controlled the money, and those kids relied on it, grown and having marriages with multiple kids. All right, let's get some, where is the past life card? Let's get some past life to see what they say about Jim Bob. Tell us some energy of today in this incarnation as Jim Bob. Why you feel you are Lord and Master. You are Caesar. You are the king in the Middle Ages. Your divine right. Give us some information on that. One of the swords is vows. That a past life they took strong vows, and that he has in this lifetime too. He's bringing it over with his strong religious um, convictions, and that is what I'm hearing about the fallout with Kendra's parents. That the dad had a different point of view on some of the ministering. So he came with a message that I have the divine vows I have taken. Ooh, the ships. So the his kingdom comes to an end through the ships. This kind of reminds you of like, remember Queen Isabella of Spain, or all during those times where those ships went out to sea, and they've start to bring information back to the people, where the people might say, uh, "You're not the last word here for the kingdom. We can have our own." And the ships were a lifetime. Remember the medieval king? But it finally came towering down. But this is the lifetime where the ships to seek other opportunity, but the people will come back. The thing is, with Jim Bob, he has so many children that he'll always, in my opinion, that there always will be some of the children in his flock relying on Jim Bob through money and the umbrella commitment. A farm. He grew up on a farm in a prior life. And no one's going to tell me what to do with my land. That's what I heard. All right. Let's get some karmic cards. Some karmic card, Jim Bob. What are you working on? Just my overall feeling is, even if some of the kids, when they marry, decide to go on their own way, even marginally, like Jill and Derek, Jim Bob has enough kids that will be growing up. He'll have his flock. Let's see what the karmic cards are going to say about him. Leadership, vote today. Yeah, he thinks he's the person of authority. He really feels like he created his person of authority, and he's not giving it up. I've taken my vows. I'm the person of authority. So on a karmic level, person of authority, let's see what the cards say. That you long, it's a karmic lesson that he longs for more glory. That's why he wants his kid, that's why he controls the money. All that money they got from their show, and he controlled it. And it's a false glory that he gets for the kids to come to the big house. We're having a meeting. Jim Bob lays down the law in such a nice, passive way. This card is to let go of fear that you're not the top leadership guy. You're still trying to get them to vote today for you through controlling them through money. This is a karmic card that Jim Bob, it's saying, let go of trying to be the ultimate leader. I don't think he will, but the opportunity is there. A warrior. Yeah. There's the ship. There's the warrior sailing the seas, taking on challenges, the warrior to spread his version. His version. There's a lot of versions of religions in this belief. His version of it. He's going to be the warrior. What's the karmic lesson? That's open if he wants it. That he had conflict in his past life. And this card is beware of fighting other people's battles. And I could see him doing that through controlling through the money, and then he would try to control them and fight their battles because he wanted to go his way. This is also the warrior saying every soul has its own journey and karmic lessons. And King Caesar, it's not your job to always run and fix them. Huh. Okay, let's see about the farm life. Overworked. He's out of balance. What karmic can he learn? Well, yeah, I could see that. In farm life, it's a hard life to live back before machinery, and out of balance, overwork. Having the over imbalance could build up resentment. This card is saying your karmic lesson is to balance things out, have some self-care. And let go. It's a letting go and having some self-care to open up your balance. But that would be letting go of the total emperor. And did we ever see King step down, or rarely, or Caesar step down? That's some more information. What can you tell us, card, about Jim Bob and his energy? His energy. Here's a Knight of Swords, fast moving. He's moving in fast to take over. He does not want to let go of this leadership. This was an opportunity for him to let go of the reins a bit and let his grown children. But the thing is, this is always in his mind. So he's coming in fast with a sword. He wants to be the white knight in this family. Whoop, deception. The warrior out on the ships, there's some deception in him, which kind of, he's seeing what he can get away with. And it does kind of like when Jill revealed that her tax returns, and she just was so used to just following like a soldier and signing them. How come that I did not look and audit all of Jim Bob's finances? All of their children's. I bet Jill's probably wasn't the only one. Allegedly fraudulent, but I wonder why an audit was never ever conducted. He's pulled up some deception. And he's still trying to do it. But the wands are coming in fast. The wands of creative energy are coming in fast. He's being creative on the other side with his family. They're coming in fast. But I don't see how he can, because he's out of balance with his karma, that these wands of creative energy coming at him, and he's out of balance. He's not going to be able to deflect from this. Deflect that if the Treasury Department decides to do an audit, and if allegedly the rumors of the tax returns to be looked at, he won't be able. This is a karmic lesson. How could he stop all this coming at him? And that brings us why his kingdom might fall. If they start looking at the finances, allegedly the finances, his kingdom could fall. But he's going to be deceitful about it to see what he can get away with. All right, let's give a empath card reading. Would you like to leave on those? If I can figure out where I put them. Yeah, it's. I think the reason we know about Jim Bob is because of the TV show and the filming. There's probably a lot of households that the matriarch is in control. You know, like, I know someone's like, she's 70 and she's saying to me, but my kids need to honor me. I said, that doesn't mean obey. You're 70. They're parents of their kids themselves. They need to make their own households. It's like, you let them go. Let them live their lives. You can still have a relationship with them without every decision has to be cleared with you. There's some attachment issues there. All right, back to Jim Bob. Taint negative thinking. When negative thoughts arrive, experience the feeling behind them, and then shift to a larger, more compassionate prospect. In order to let go, that if you let go of the reins a bit and let the kids be grown adults and do their journey into adulthood, this card is suggesting you let go of negative thoughts. That your identity has been wrapped up in being the emperor of this large family. Although honestly, I feel that because he has so many kids, he will always have some under his thumb. And that's the deception card that is part of his karma to work on, to let it go. That would be a big growth period for him. Well, thank you. Let's see how this plays out.